49er injury today.
Come on now, stop playing.
From Matt Barrows. Jordan Elliott, who was not on Kyle Shanahan's pre-practice report, was added after apparently tweaking his knee in individual drills, Jay.
Boy, hey, I'm going to tell you.
What is going on?
Truly, I have never, and we've said this probably 10 times throughout this season, I have never seen so many people injured.
Right.
What is up, man? Them vitamins, the Wheaties, the matcha got them going wrong.
There's
what's
some weird theories
high-calorie diet
being tossed around now these days. We have our next guest ready to go. Yeah, it's Stevie. It's Stevie Johnson. How are you, Stevie?
What's going on, teammates? Good to be on Wild Card Weekend. Let's get it.
Yeah. What can you tell us about all these? As a former player, do you have any possible explanation for all the 49er injuries?
Well, I mean, this is the type of game that we playing is brutal, on the body, I would say, because you're consistently moving at a high rate. The ligaments are only so strong, and you playing week after week. So I attested to that, and sometimes things just happen. Like you said, our guy Ellie is out on individual drills. That's usually the time you take it easy. So it's a mix of everything.
I mean, honestly, of all your career, take it even back to Rod, take it back to Pop Warner, man. Like, have you ever been a part of a team where you've literally looked around, because we all have that moment. You kind of get into the locker room, you're on the sideline, whatever. You eating lunch with your fellas, and you look around and say, yo, it's a lot of people. A lot of people injured right now. Have you ever had that, Stevie?
Yeah, brother. I would even say when I was with the Chargers, that was crazy.
That was,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, so I go out with dislocated shoulder. Then Malcolm Floyd has dislocated shoulder.
Stand up, Sacramento.
There we go. Yep, Floyd from Sactown, man. He one of the best too, man. I need to tap in with Malcolm. Fleazy, very good in the community. But we have so many injuries. But you can say that for every team, though, because it's just the type of game that we play, though, teammates.
Mm-hmm. Stevie Johnson, 8-year NFL veteran, Bills, 49ers, Chargers. Nice enough to join us as he does each week. What in the world happened to the 49er offense, and how do they avoid having it happen again against the Eagles?
You know what? They got to stick to the script, and the script is getting CMC involved. That's the main thing. Everybody knows what's going to happen, but how are you going to make it happen? And that's going to be the key to this game for me. If CMC is involved and Purdy is on that level where he can hit his playmakers when he needs to, not necessarily forcing it outside to his playmakers, you got to be strategic where you holding the ball, play action, and then you drop it off to CMC in the flats. And again, CMC going to have an iconic run for the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But that's the way I see them beating the Eagles. Heavy Christian McCaffrey.
What about as far as Brock Purdy? Because I think some of the questions that people still have about Brock Purdy, he's answered a lot of those, but a lot of people talk about, can he put a team on his back? I hear you talking about CMC putting a team on his back. Is there any way, shape, form, or fashion you can see Brock Purdy literally tugging this offense and tugging this team along?
Yeah, he actually showed that he can put a team on his back. The thing is, it's like similar to Josh Allen. I compare it to when Josh went from making plays and wanting to make the highlight play. Purdy's in that same boat where he wants to make that highlight play, and then you throw in him coming back from injury, so he kind of want to press it. But that's where the Niners may get hurt, when you're too overzealous. So Purdy has to go into that phase where he's a playmaker, game changer, just like a Josh Allen is going into that phase. And that's where the 49ers will be efficient, because all they need to do is continue to get first down after first down. They don't necessarily need to get highlight plays and, let me break the pocket and then throw this bomb across the field and see if I can get 60. You don't really need that, because you need to sustain drives to keep the other team's offense off the field. And if Purdy can turn into a manager, then yeah, and he's shown that he can. So, this is a great time to prove it against the Philadelphia Eagles, who I actually got to go to the Super Bowl out the NFC.
What?
Oh, come on, Stevie. Oh
No,
man, you
hey.
don't want to cross seas and you been living large, man.
Oh,
Look, hey, I feel like if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best,
True.
and I can't knock the best off if they still got balance and they still active. So I for sure want them Niners to go. Niners, but you know what I'm saying? You can't just put them past the Eagles who actually won it, and they here.
Keeping it
It's time
real.
to knock them off.
yeah. Stevie Johnson. How would you compare? I know they're not the same, but the two quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy. How would you say they're similar? How would you say they're most different?
See, yeah, there it is. Like the difference with Jalen Hurts, he's already evolved into the manager phase, and he don't care about the outside, what people are saying, even what teammates are saying. Hey, brother, I'm gonna get you 1,000 yards. I'm gonna get you 1,000 yards. I'm gonna feed my tight end because he's an extension of the run game, and I understand I can feed my running back, and I can run when I need to, or take a slide. He's already developed that manager mode. With Brock Purdy, I think he's still in that playmaker mode. He's a hybrid because we can see him manage a game. However, we also see where Purdy can. I'm ready to sling it. I'm ready to, you know what I mean, do some showtime. That's the difference between Hurts and Purdy. Along with I add my guy Allen in there too.
Yeah,
because that's why Hurts have a Super Bowl and those guys don't, because Hurts can manage a game.
Yo, Stevie, one of the interesting things that we got to see last week was Aaron Rodgers and Whitey. What was the phrase you coined? Like he proved that he still can play, or he belongs, or I can't really remember.
His legacy is secure.
That's
now.
about
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, is that what you saw from the Steelers win over Baltimore? Because in reality, the way I see it is a rookie kicker missed a kick, and it could have went the opposite way.
Yeah, hey, both, because you got to be in that position for, you know what I'm saying, that kicker to make that. So, you can say Rodgers definitely showed that he can still manage a game. He can sling the ball. He can control the offense. He can keep your offense off the field. So he showed that he's an excellent manager. And then it comes down to, hey, if that kicker kicks the ball and makes it, we're not talking about, Aaron Rodgers winning that game. We're still saying he showed that he put that team in a position to be where they are. So yeah, it's a good mix of both. And yeah, that's the wild part of this game though, right? Like nobody expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to do what they did. I mean, it'd be wild if the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to win and the Bills continue to win, because the Bills utilize one play against them for 30 times and beat that team. So it's very interesting what's going on in the playoffs now.
Mm-hmm. Stevie Johnson joining us, catching up on the NFL playoffs. Did Kyle Shanahan have one of his worst games as a play caller since he's been with the 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks?
Maybe you got to take into the account they already will be in the playoffs, so it's like whoever you play against, it's gonna be a dogfight. Mm-hmm. And then it just comes down to execution. Also, certain plays are called when your defense makes certain plays. So if a defense don't make plays, you can't use parts of the playbook. So it's an testament to a team. The team gotta work and yeah, then at the end of the day, can your playmakers get the ball to your other playmakers and force the issue and be able to adjust? That's what the Niners are going to have to do, adjust, because the Philadelphia Eagles, they're tough on covering the tight end. And our tight end has been going crazy for the past 6 weeks. And, so we'll have to be able to adjust to figure out ways to get Kittle the ball without forcing it, and CMC without, being too obvious. So it's going to be very interesting and strategic to see the Niners play.
So, Stevie, it sounds like, pardon me, Jay, but it sounds like you're not pinning this on Shanahan, the idea that Shanahan called a bad game. You're not really willing to go there.
No, I feel like players got to make plays, I feel like players got to make the plays first. And then, you can talk about, is that the right play to be called, but it still comes down to execution. And I throw in that defense because that's what people may not understand. Like, okay, if we got the ball at this part of the field, then I can utilize certain plays. Or if we weren't down at this part during this time of the game. It's like it's so much situation. And if you look at a playbook, it's all situations on there, like nothing but situations. And that's what it comes down to. Can your team put your offense or your play callers in situations to call certain plays during that time?
Joined by Mr. Himothy himself, Stevie Johnson. Stevie, one of the things we talk about with Kyle Shanahan, and at least I do, I try to bring it to the table, is the urgency and the pace, the hurry up, the pace of the offense. It feels like it's always the same. With that being said, someone that's been in so many huddles like yourself with 8 years in the league and, of course, college and everything else, do you pay attention to that? Is that something that you dial in on? Like, man, this play call is super long and it's not giving me an opportunity to go outside and get in rhythm. Do you guys pay attention to that?
Yeah, we do. But how much it matters, I would say maybe 60%, because again, you gotta, 40%, because you have to execute first. So the tempo, it definitely can play a part when you got a player or a quarterback that can tempo it up fast, slow, take advantage of the team. And that's what we saw actually for this Niners season. When Mac Jones got in, you saw a different tempo. Then you seen Purdy come in, it was a different tempo. So now it seems like we're back to that tempo that we know we have with Purdy, we've been accustomed to. And now it's on Purdy to be that manager. Being a manager doesn't only mean take the short pass or don't take the highlight play. You can manage the tempo now. If we can notice how this thing is going, then Brock, you should be able to notice that and manage the tempo with your playmaker. So, it's all in-house and how those players are communicating with each other.
Stevie Johnson joining us. I want to ask you about how much trouble the 49ers under Shanahan have had coming from behind. And look, he's been a great coach. I'm not piling on Shanahan. But we know statistically when they get behind, they have a really hard time coming back. How much of that, Stevie, is because the offense is so much based on play action, and if they're behind, the other team knows that they ain't going to run the ball, so we don't have to respect the play action?
Yeah, man, Whitey, you own it. So accurate. And that's why I feel like if this isn't a close game, it's going to be tough for the Niners to win, because it's hard to play from behind. Considering, I'll say Ricky Pearsall, we don't know if he can play all game or if we don't know if he'll be playing this game, so it's like injuries, the playmakers on the outside, are you getting enough action to, control a game or go up and down the field? But again, that's not the team that the 49ers have built. They built the team off play action, off your running back and controlling the clock. So yeah, that's why this is so interesting now in the playoffs, because now you're going up against teams that's going to put you to the test. And we'll see if the 49ers can pass it.
As forgive me for bringing up a sore spot, of course, I would imagine in your career, but as someone that's been in the NFL and have the opportunity to get into the postseason, can you flip a switch like the 49ers or the Eagles, who have kind of been down on the offensive side? Do you believe you can flip a switch as a team and change the narrative that has been talked about, or I guess you've been showcasing all season?
I don't even know what it means to flip the switch. I feel like once you're in the playoffs, it's a whole different vibe and atmosphere. Even if you're just watching it, you can see it and feel it. But could you only imagine being in it, you know what I mean? And just the natural nerves and things like that. So I think the switch is automatically flipped for those guys, and like we was talking about earlier with the injuries, there was injuries today, but the good thing, the glass half full part is the Niners been around these wild injuries so much that I think players are in the building like, hey, I'm ready because anything can happen. Even walking to lunch and go get something, like I might be up next. So the vibes is there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's wicked.
What was the most hostile environment on the road that you ever had to play in, Stevie?
I would say going into New England, it was really hostile. They was the dynasty team at that time, and but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing in those situations, and I feel like that's the same, when it comes to playoff games. You going up against the best of the best. Us going up against Brady, and we were on the road. Obviously, it wasn't a playoff game, but the atmosphere was like that because they had their crowd there, they crowd talking to a whole bunch of crap. and yeah, like I feel like that's the vibes that you have. That's backyard playground with the homies. That's the Thanksgiving Day bowls with, you know what I'm saying, with the fam. You know, you want to bring your best because you know y'all go talk about it and you know, so I feel like it's gonna be a show.
Pretender or contender? Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence led Jacksonville Jags.
Who do they have this week, Jay?
You see where I went, right? Pretender or contender to Jags, man?
Yeah, the Jags are contenders. You know, they've shown that they can get over the hump and they can win games. They figured out how to win games. However, this is their first year of figuring out how to win games. And yeah, that's why I say they're contenders, but I think they're gonna be shell shocked when they run up against the Bills this week.
I was waiting for something. I was like, where's he taking me here?
Yeah.
They go be shell shocked.
Before we let you go, Stevie, you know, all of a sudden there's a lot of quarterbacks playing this weekend that don't have a lot of playoff experience. Is it possible we're kind of on the threshold of an era, you know, golden age, which may be an exaggeration of really good, potentially great young quarterbacks?
You know, and that's a good thing. Yes, I'll agree with you. And that's a good thing for the league. That's a good thing for communities and these young guys coming in. You know, if they're showing that they can put their teams on their back and put this league on their back, from state to state where they are, then yeah, I mean, it's more power for us to continue to talk about them. You know, so I think we are entering that age. You see, there's no Mahomes, there's Lamar's out. The names that we've been hearing over and over, they're not really in right now. And again, that's a good thing for the league. It's a great cycle.
All right, Stevie, we appreciate it. Good luck to your Bills. We'll talk to you soon.
One love, teammates.
No doubt, big time. Stay safe.
Yeah.
One love.
Stevie Johnson.